Good noon. It's not quite afternoon. It is exactly noon. Aha. Sorry, I had to answer a text. So I've been working on this earlier, actually like the past hour or so I've been working on this. And I was like, you know, I probably should stream it just to keep you guys in the loop. I hate to be that guy, but I do enjoy the peace and quiet when I'm working and not having to
Where to?
Entertain. But also, keeping you guys in the loop is important, so it's like a double-edged sword. But this will be my last stream for like a week. I will be disappearing tomorrow through Saturday. So tomorrow I'm driving up to Georgia, and then I'm going to be there for a week, and I'm going to come back Saturday. So I probably won't stream until next Sunday. Look at that. So I've got some kids that I'm taking up to Skills USA, so that's going to be a big adventure. My animation kids won gold this year, so they get to compete in Georgia at the national conference, which is pretty cool. But I have to drive there. I'm not stoked about driving 8 hours there and 8 hours back. Not off at the wheel, you know. I haven't gone on the longest drive I've had since then, since living in Vermont, has been about a 4-hour drive, and that's it's bearable, but not super pleasant. Sometimes I doze off, you know. Not really. I'd put an audiobook on and I listen while I go, but you got to keep yourself entertained, and then, you know. But then I'm going to have, you know, 2 students in the car, so I have to entertain them. You know, are they going to be? Are we there yet? Yeah, they're pretty cool. They probably won't be that bad. But anyway, that's my road trip starts tomorrow morning. So anyway, so what I've been up to is I'm working on a planet list. So for the players, I need to have the planet list for a few reasons. I want to have a list of all the known planets up here, just for handy-dandy things, and then information about the planets. So right now, if I jump to a planet, it'll tell me if it's owned or unowned or whatever. Well, realistically, you should not know anything about a planet until you send a ship there. So if you click on a planet, they should always be unknown. You know, maybe the planet name might be known. You know, I might keep that log, but the owner will certainly be unknown, and then the features of the planet will be unknown. So if you can jump into here, if I grab a planet, information about that should not populate. It should say, you know, question marks or whatever in there. But to do that, I need to create a list of objects that we know and objects that we don't know. So if it's in the known list, then you'll get information about it. If it's not in the known list, you get nothing. But also, the known list doesn't populate regularly. It only populates since the last time you sent a ship there. So if you sent a ship there and you saw a certain number of resources and you saw that it had, you know, 5 ships and it was owned by player 4, by the next time you send ships out, that might not be the case. It might have more or less ships guarding it. It may have more buildings added to it. It may have a different owner you know, that kind of information. So so I'm building that list and making sure the players can get it. Also, I fixed, I don't know if you've noticed, but we've been following this planet for the last like minute or two. I fixed the tracking so that you can track the planet. It stays center if I look away. And I'm really annoyed because I did the math on that, and the math said it should work, and then it wasn't working, and then I did it anyway, and then the math worked again. So if you look at where's follow object? I don't need you. It's going to be under player, follow object. That's snap to object, but where's follow object? Here we go. And you can see I left myself notes because it was driving me nuts because I did the math and the math wasn't working. And I tried so many different versions of this thing because this makes sense. This is how you would do it. But it wasn't working. And then suddenly it works. You can see I left myself a note. I said, this works perfectly, but I don't know why. I'm positive I tried it before. Which is, if you want to be at the location of the planet, then you would set your location every frame. And then some offset from your forward vector, which is, you know, you can do it from the planet's forward vector, or you can do it from the player's forward vector. If you do it from the planet's, it'll move you from the planet. Let's say the planet faces that way. It'll move you out from its forward vector, right? If you want it to be always in line with the player's forward vector, you would use the player's forward vector. Same math, but it would always point, right? But for some reason it wouldn't. And I tried. You can say I have actor forward vector. I also have planet forward vector. And I tried different ones, and it sometimes worked, sometimes didn't. Well, it never worked correctly. It would line me up, but then it wouldn't stay in frame. You can see this one is almost identical to what I have down here. So there's that one, and you can see that highlights most of this. The difference is, on this one I made the mistake of adding and not multiplying. But hey, you know, I banged my head on a wall for months trying to figure out why this wasn't working. I'd come back to it. So, but I came back to it, I thought about the math, and I was like, well, it should be this. So I just rewrote it, and it worked. Sometimes the math works, sometimes it's wrong, but the error is always on this side of the keyboard. So, yeah. I also updated the follow actor, or follow object with the actor versus planet. They work the same, it's just a different override. Or an overload, except it checks if it's an asteroid or a planet. I probably will not ever use it, but it's there in case I change my mind. But this would be more expensive because it has to do a validation check each time. Or I could just do this one as an asteroid and run the math against the asteroid, which would be cheaper. So I'll think about it. I'll probably change this to be asteroid. That way I don't have to validate. It's just, if you call one or the other, it runs one or the other. Alright, and then for the planet list, so now each player has a known planet and a known asteroid list. When you send out a ship, it overlaps with that object and then adds it to your list. So right now I'm just testing to make sure that it will only add a unique object, and whether or not I have to check for validation, we'll see. I'm having an issue where sending ships out doesn't always give feedback. So what I noticed, and I'll show it as you get to see it. So I'm on player 1, and I'm at planet 6. And in that player's log, I have asteroid 10. So I can grab a different asteroid and see. There's an asteroid floating down here. Which one are you? Come here, you. Ah, tiny. Asteroid 11. Cool. I don't have that yet, so I'll send out a ship. This is asteroid 10. I will send out a ship to asteroid 10. And this one is asteroid 3. I'll send out a ship to asteroid 3. And then I'll end my turn. And that player's turn, I will pause. Let's go find those. So that is the attacker. I should have 3 attackers. That makes sense. Let me jump out. So there are my 3 attackers. And they are headed to some asteroids out there. So we're going to watch what they do. You can see these 2 attackers are right on top of each other. I suspect, based on what I saw earlier, that they are colliding with each other and dying. Yep, that one collided and died. And another one died. Let's check the player. So player 0 should now have asteroid 10. So I didn't get an extra asteroid for asteroid 10. I've got asteroid 2 on the list. And then it just docked. I also want to see if I get accidental discoveries. So if I send out a ship to a destination and it happens to overlap with some other object that is not the target object, should that count as a discovery? And I don't know if I want it to work that way. What do you think? Should I allow accidental discoveries, or should it only be the thing that you send it to? Get feedback from that thing that you sent to. But let's go ahead and solve the problem with the ships blowing each other up. So I'll jump over to the ship CPP file, and on the overlap, this seems to be working just fine. We need to make sure, if we're overlapping with another ship, that it is not owned by the same player. Alright, so if the other actor I'll just do this. I'm going to have to do it off of here. Overlapped ship. So if we overlap with a ship and our owner is the same, then we'll just exit so they won't destroy each other. I had to do that after creating this because I need that to get to the stats. So that should prevent the ships from blowing up. Okay. And while that's cooking, we'll take a look at these two functions here. So these functions that I wrote, they're similar. The add object to known object list, that just takes in an object, and then it determines if it's a planet or a asteroid, and then adds it. I could test to see if I can get away with adding a unique object with a cast, and if the cast fails. But that way I don't have to do 2 checks, but I think I have to. I could do a single check with a cast of a temporary, and then add the temporary. That would be slightly faster than doing 2 checks. But in either case, either an asteroid goes to the, or planet goes to the planet list, asteroid goes to the asteroid list. And then there is a check, so I can search that list to see if it's something I already have. This is really meant for later on when I need to check to see if a planet is already in the list. Get information about that planet and whatnot. Since this adds unique, I don't think I need to validate before I get there. But that's what we're testing to see if I can get the same planet twice. So far, it looks like I do not get the same planet twice. Add unique appears to be doing its job. Oh, I want more planets. There we go. The unfortunate side effect of testing this is I do have to go through the motions of building some of this stuff. Hey look, I can lock my view. This is so much fun. Yay. I can see the day-night cycle happening. Let's add some ships. And I'll even test this with a harvester. And then I'll end task. I don't want to destroy player 2, so I will have player 2 get some security. And I'll end task. Okay. Let's test to see if sending out a harvester to an asteroid will get the asteroid. I'm just checking the queue. Whoops. I want to send a harvester. That went. Yep. Interesting. Oh, it was just hidden. I couldn't see the number. Alright, so that's going to go out. I'll end my turn. Let's pause and take a look at the universe here. There should be a planet with a harvester floating. There you are. Let's see what it does. And let me grab that player's list. So known planet list and known asteroid list. So the default planet that's already in your list and the asteroid list. Hasn't been populated yet. Let's see what happens. There we go. Asteroid's been added. And this guy should have harvester. That harvester should have some cargo. it picked up some iron. Picked up 100 iron. Boop. And then dropped it off. So that worked. And if I check my list here, I should not have... I did not get my own planet twice, so that looks like it's working. Let's send out some attackers. And grab you. Oh, I need to jump back into the game. We'll send one to here. I'll send one. This is why I need canceling. I can't cancel yet. That would be a great opportunity to send to see if I hit both. Tell you what, I'll go to this one. I want to see what happens with those two. Okay, so I've got ships coming out here. Let's get the players list, and we will watch what happens. This one's going to hit first. So now I have this planet added. So planet 1. I did not get planet 1 a second time. That's funny. So I was thinking those were going to overlap, but this is actually in a higher orbital plane, so I'm never going to hit it. Okay. I gained planet 4. Cool. So wait, I added this one to my list, but I did not gain it. Interesting. So that's technically planet 3. But I currently don't own planet 3, right? Oh, I do, yeah. So I own 3. Which one is this? That's added. Which one are you? It's bizarre. You are planet 2, which is technically planet 1. And I can't see from here, but the one behind it. Technically, I should own both of these, but let's take a look at what this one is. Planet 1. I wonder if that one's owned by the other player. Game stalled. This isn't updating correctly. Oh, I'm being dumb. Yeah, I need the owner. So this one, player 0. None, none, none. Okay. It's weird. I think I should have had that one in my owned list. Wonder why. Let me make a bunch of ships. Okay. So planet 2 is planet 1, but planet 1, player. Oh, sorry. Yeah, from the owned list I have planet 0 and planet 3. So planet 1, I don't own this one. But it is in my list of known stuff. I wonder why. Because if I hit it, I should have gained it. I'm not returning out from this operation. I mean, this operation itself does have a return on it, but I don't... That should just return back to the calling function and continue. Hey, welcome to the stream. I'm going to watch this and see what it does. Oh, because I tabbed that over. I made a change to the code here. It's a minor change, but it's a change that I made. Let's see if we'll have the same problem once it boots. How is your Saturday morning going, guys? I guess it's technically Saturday afternoon now. Okay, I'm on planet 6. I'll just send out a ship to planet 1. Where are the other planets? None of these planets have owners. At least, I don't think they do. With the exception of player 2 out there floating. I think this is player 2 if I were to guess. It looks like the right size for a home planet. Oh, I selected my own place. I missed. Okay, that's probably good enough. You end the turn, and then I'll end turn. So right away I got a hit on this. I guess technically I would hit it because I'm colliding with the planet that they're being birthed from. So that makes sense. Let's see how this goes. I should step in. It's going to check. And then going to check. The object is probably an asteroid. Well, no, if it overlaps with a ship, it'll probably run the check anyway. Yeah. So that collided with a ship. There are no brakes here, so this should just return out to the calling function, which it did, and now we're here. So that worked. And then I hit continue. Again, those are probably just overlaps from the attackers. Yeah, so we hit attackers. Oh, I want to see all these go. Let's eject, and they should all go in different directions. Player list. So far, only one planet in the list. Where are the attackers? And why are there no attackers out? They shouldn't have died. But I don't see any of them out there. I didn't send harvesters, right? No, I sent attackers. And the code being checked was for attackers. That's bizarre. Where did they go? I have 11 on my list. me dock. I'm going to send 3 attackers to that spot. It still says I have 11 attackers, which I shouldn't. Well, if I'm on player 2, then maybe. Let's see what they do. Okay. So those 3 went in. This is let's go to player. Get the list. So they went in. Which planet is that? Allegedly, that's planet 7. Planet 6. I have array ordering, so planet 6. So planet 7 here is actually planet 6. Planet 6 is actually planet 5. This planet should have an owner. Player 1. Okay. So that's the other player's planet. Makes sense that I don't own it. Fine enough. But it should be added to my list. Planet 5 and 6, yep. So it's on my known list, and then my owned list only has the 1. Makes sense. And if I continue with the game, player 2 should have fewer ships there. Yeah, because they lost 3 ships from the attack. That makes sense. We'll end turn. Let's go back to this player. Planet 1. I'll send a ship out to planet 1. Planet 4. Planet 5 is my own. Planet 2. And an asteroid. I'm gonna get that asteroid. Crap. I double clicked. Maybe I'll take that feature off. I mean, sometimes double clicking is nice, but there we go. Am I out of ships? Oh no, I'm at planet 2. I need a way of quickly getting back to your docked planet, or to your home planet, whatever planet you're owning. But that's what the planet list is going to be for, so I don't have to count. These will also have little flags on them, so I know which planets are mine. It's fine, it's whatever. I'm going to end turn, and we're going to figure out where these ships are going. So that should have made some attackers. I've only got 3 attackers. Did I make more than 3? Thought that I had a couple going out. But here they go. Bit of a travel through space. I should not get all 3 at the same planet. Pretty sure I sent them to different planets. Well, I gained planet 5. I did send them to different planets, right? Thought I did. So I've got planet 5. I'll dock back into the game. I'm on planet 6. This is planet 2. I'll send a ship to planet 2. This is planet 3. I'll send a ship to planet 3. Only sending 2 ships this time. 1 to planet 2, 1 to planet 3. Superman, you saw him. And I can validate that in the action queue. So I should have 1 ship going to planet 1, which is technically planet 2. And then 1 ship going to planet 2, which is technically planet 3. How's it going, AP? How you doing? Both went to the same location. That's weird. I think I know why. I think I know why. I'm checking my own logic against other things, but true words. We eat out a lot. We ended up cutting back our outside food expenditure quite a bit. I think it saves us like $300 a month, or pay cycle, something like that. Sometimes it's cheaper to eat out, but sometimes not. When I was single, it was just me. I'm too lazy to do dishes. I didn't mind spending $15 a day, $20 a day for a meal, but with two of us now it's like $40 or more for 2 meals. It's a lot cheaper to buy groceries then. Alright. So I think what's happening is where is ship? Spawn ship. Let's go there. Spawn ship that's called on planet. What is happening here is the target is coming out of the player's current selected target. It is not coming out of the target from the action queue. Yeah. So let's update this to take in the target ship from the action queue. Where is this function? This is going to also be the reason I had this do that was I hadn't decided on if you could put ships in orbit and just kind of have them around your planet. Still can. And really this should be target object, so there we go. And we'll go to here, and I'll just copy the signature line. Really? It's being a jerk face. There we go. Did I ever tell you about the friend of mine who spent 1.7 million on a pizza? It's more like 1.1 million. Back when Bitcoin was $1, he had like 30 plus Bitcoin, something like that. And he spent 17 Bitcoin on a pizza because they took Bitcoin at the time. So really, he only spent 17 bucks. But if you scale that forward to when Bitcoin was like, what, $64,000 per coin, that's like what, 1.2 million dollars. It was a crazy amount. Alright, so this should be the correct target object, but I have to make sure that it gets fed that object. So that's going to go through on the game mode, and then update action queue for ships in queue for sending ships. So spawn ship now takes in the player as well as the target object. Okay. How's it going, GRGF? When did Bitcoin come out? What was that, 2006, 2007, something like that? I think it was in Vermont. It might have been out before that. It might have been early to, like, maybe 2001, 2002. Glad to hear you're doing great. Any exciting plans for this Saturday? Alright, I do want to check to make sure. My assumption is I already handled it, but when the ship is on the move, I want to make sure that it does differentiate between objects. So I'll say move, and we will search for move. Yeah. Let's test that and see if I can send ships to multiple locations. Apparently not. Something broke. Just trying to learn stuff? Me too. Let's see what broke in this list here. Spawn ship function does not take 3 parameters. Spawn supply ship. So for this one, okay. It's weird that I did it that way. Where I know I had some rules for this specifically for the supply ship, but I might move that into spawn ship. Because this would now be built through the action queue. And the only difference between a supply ship and any other ship is that you can send resources to it. That happens on the send resource button. And it creates a supply ship. But I haven't actually created that in the action queue yet, so I want to disable this, but I don't want to chase my tail later trying to figure it out about why it's not working. I also don't know if this is being called in Blueprint. I know what to do. I know what to do. I'm going to turn that part off. Actually, I'll leave this. Leave myself a note. And then I will break what it does. Do I have another? It says an enclosed end of file, but it should not have. There we go. I had the wrong slash. Okay. Let's try and test the other thing that's working. Oh, geez, what now? Oh, must return a value. I'll just return out it'll send out a message, and I'll know. Bitcoin was originally released in 2009, a decade after the original Biohazard Resident Evil 1 game in 1996. Wild to think about. I'm not too sure how those two things correlate, but it is interesting. But yeah, I was in Vermont then. Went to Vermont in 07, came back in 08, went back up till 2011. Okay, let's test this and see if things are working. Same rigmarole. I will build these planets and a couple turns. Build some stuff. End turn. Build some stuff. End turn. Okay. Now let's send some ships out. I'm on planet 7. Send out a couple to some asteroids. Alright, so I should have a bunch of ships going. What did I start off with? 11? So let's end. I should have 11 attackers. Or I should have 7 attackers. Okay, good. So those got built. Let's locate them. Don't be a jerk. There they are. Wow, that's stuttering. So this attacker's going that way, that attacker's going this way, and those ones are going over there. So they're all going to their own destinations. Okay. That one's doing its job. Going back home, back home. Okay, cool. So that makes way more sense. I gained planet 5, planet 2, planet 1, and planet 4. Hey, the message worked. I should give this priority, so I can't do this. Let me check out player. And let me check out the list. My own planet list did bump up quite a bit, but I should have a bunch of the known list should be updated, yep, and the known asteroids as well. Okay, that looks like it's doing its job. All right. Oh. And now what? Planet 7. So from planet, let me jump back in here. I'm on planet 6, I need planet 7. I'm going to send more than enough ships to conquer it. Then I'll end my turn. There they go. Okay. So if you lose a planet to a player, should it tell you what player? Should it say you lost planet 7 to player, 1 or whoever? Or should that be anonymous? You would kind of know, right? If that planet got attacked by some invading fleet, they could send a distress signal or something, You said a favorable bill. What is the lowdown of the? What makes the bill favorable? I guess I should ask. And also, what do you guys think? Should if you lose a planet to a player, should it tell you what player you lost it to? What do you think? Alright, so that kind of works for those. Oh, with player 2, you gained planet 7. And on the flip side, if you take a planet from a player, should it let you know who used to occupy it? Galactic Risk? Kinda. It's based on territory and resources. It's like a turn-based version of StarCraft. But if you've ever played Conquest, it's more like a 3D version of Conquest. let's add that feature. What do you think, GRGF? If you lose a planet to a player, should it tell you who you lost it to? And if you took a planet from a player, should it tell you who you took it from? Or should it just be you gained a planet, you lost a planet? AP's in favor of letting you know which player was on the other end of that equation. I think I'm leaning in that direction too. Alright, all those look like they're doing their job. I'll exit here. We'll worry about the boatload of errors later. Oh, I'm on the H file. I need to be on the CPP file. That is a fun analogy, space Risk. I never liked Risk as a board game. I got bored after the first half hour. Same thing with Monopoly. You get bored of it. I do think I need to rework this so it's less repetitive. I think I'll do an overload for this. So let's go to the player's H file. I don't think I ever call these in Blueprint. I'm pretty sure I don't call them from Blueprint. But if I take them off of Blueprint callable, and I am calling them from Blueprint, some things are going to break. I'm pretty sure I'm not calling these in Blueprint. That being the case, actually I'll just save it and play it and see if things break. If these are being called on Blueprint, it should be an immediate failure. Because it said 0 references, right? So I think I'm okay. Actually, I'm silly. Hold on. I was being stupid. It did say 0 references, right? Yeah, 0 references called a blueprint. I don't even need the check. I can just do it from that way. All right. Question is, do I do an overload or do I just add in an option? Let's see what the current one is doing. That's planet. Where's player? Will you guys be next to each other? Let's add object. Where's add planet? I think I will just add a and I think I will default these to be null pointers. Yes. Okay. am I just doing name off of player? F name for name. Okay. I just had to double check because all actors have their own name, and I just want to make sure I'm not getting an ambiguous call. What should I say? Should you took, or you captured, or you stole? Stole seems like naughty, but if you do, you know, you captured from. And then in here, same kind of deal. I'll just borrow that. I'll take votes. What do you think? I mean, I could leave it as gained. You gained this from them, but they didn't. But that sounds more like they gave it to you, right? Could make it captured in either case. You captured this planet, that planet. Okay, let's go ahead and update on the ship side. In this case, no owner, so I don't have to provide an owner. One vote gained, one vote captured? Okay. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Alright, if the planet has an owner and it is not me, destroy any ships. Okay. So then it'll be ship stats dot owner. We'll get passed in, and then I guess I'm going to have to store a reference to the old owner. when I remove the planet from the list, I think I automatically turn everything null. Yeah. So those get nulled out. So I'm going to have to store a reference. We're going to do a temporary reference here. I'll just do it here. If I already own the planet, then I'll add it to there. Okay, I think I'm okay. I think this is the only spot where the owners are exchanged. Alright. Let's see how this goes. Oh. Yeah, funny story. Dad once told me that. So, Grandma and Grandpap, they had 7 kids, and there was a moment where, and Grandpap was a military dad. So, if one kid did something stupid, he punished all of them. Sounds like kind of a jerk, but it's actually. But that being the case, he couldn't find his hat, so he had all 7 kids tearing up the house looking for his hat. And I don't know how long it went on for. I guess it went on for a bit. But none of the kids would stop and say, "It's on your head," because he was a military dad. And if you backtalk, you'd know about it. So eventually it took Grandma to pull him aside and go, "It's on your head," because they wouldn't say it to him. Alright. Let's get some buildings building. Okay. And let's get some ships. And I'll get some ships. Okay. Now let's go conquer some planets, huh? Planet, planet, planet. Alright. I'll send a ship out to there. I won't attack that one. Okay, so I'll end that player's turn, and we'll take this player and pretty much go do all the same thing. Sure. Let me make sure I just grab that. There, I sent out a bunch of ships. Now end the turn, and we'll see all the things happening. There's a lot of ships going. Look at this. And then there should be a lot of ships coming out of that one. So I guess I'll stand back here and watch. Yeah, that is fair. I've never been out of the country, though. So I kind of envy that travel, but I also am not a big travel person. I wouldn't mind seeing, like, Rome or checking out, Britain or Ireland or Japan or something like that. My sister went to Germany. I don't really have a huge desire to go to Germany, though. Ships going in all directions. I do need to prevent them from going through the sun. But these ships made contact with these planets. So I need to check to see if those count as added to my list. Hold on. Player. Let's see the list here. How about this player? I might make that target only. Okay, so I gained these, and then I also captured Planet 8 from Player 2. Okay. And then I gained those, and then I lost Planet 8 to Player 1. Cool. So those messages updates, and then the only thing else I want to change at the moment would be let's make this check the target. Sumo wrestling on TV? That's funny. You ever gone to a sumo wrestling match? A lot of my apprehension about going to other countries is I don't speak any other languages, you know. So if I went to Japan, I would have no idea how to communicate with anybody. Yeah, I guess I could kind of learn, have like a travel book and whatever, but that's not as helpful. And I know, unlike here, people in other countries generally speak more than one language, but like I kind of feel like a jerk going to someone else's country and not being able to speak their language. It's just me. Okay. Now end thy turn, and I'll get a bunch. Oh, Google? Yeah, Google Translate? Yeah. It's almost at the point where it has, you know, like the universal communicators that from Star Trek. You know, they wear the little comm badge and it automatically interprets for them. We're almost at that point. Alright, let's go capture some planets. Oh, it actually helps if I hit the send button. Okay, I sent 6 out. And then this player, let's do the same dealio. We'll send out 6. End turn, let things calculate. Every time. It's like, oh, well, I can't hot search that. But you just did. You literally just did. Okay, this one's got some going out, and where's the other one? That one. Let's see how they go. Cool. I gained those planets. And I'll end my turn. And then he gained those planets. I'll end his turn. Actually, before I end his turn, let me check your list. I do seem to have way more planets on my known list than I do on what I own. That asteroid. So of the new planets that I made contact with 1 and 2. And 1 and 2 are in my list here. But I also made contact with 5, 4, 3, and 0. Well, that's probably the default. Weird. Get a towel. Japanese language dictionary. It kind of reminds me of back in high school when the whole anime craze, everybody was trying to learn Japanese. We were all writing katakana and everything. I never quite learned hiragana though. But I can kind of read katakana still, so I'm a little rusty. But I'm like, I know what that kind of says. Can't speak it worth a darn, though. So this is puzzling. This is what I'll do. I'll stop and start again. Oh, I need a start port. Yeah. Okay. Let's try this again. I'm going to send out 5 ships. I lied. I sent out 6 ships. That's weird. Are all the attackers still in orbit? Or out? Oh, I got 2 out. Okay. Six captured, 6 messages. Six captured, 6 seen. It does say that I captured player 2's planet. Did I not build ships for him? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't build him any ships. Okay. Oh, I need to check to see if that's happening. Yeah. Of course, the other player died, so we don't get to see his messages. Okay. It just seemed instantaneous when I sent them out. So I will try again. I'll give myself 2 chances of checking this if I have any other player. Okay. I won't go capture crazy. I'll just send out 1. Okay. So player 0, and we will take a look at the list, and turn, and turn. So I did not instantly gain any other planets, and I did not instantly see any other planets. Let me eject. See where this is going. Probably won't be able to see it from here, but I'll just run it. And I gain planet 6. Okay. Technically planet 5, but it's whatever. That worked. Let's go back in. We'll do that one. There it goes. it just seemed like it just seemed like it was getting all of them at once. Maybe they were just that close. Let's disable the camera. So I sent out 5 ships. We'll see what happens. This is player 2. Okay, so no instantaneous gain. Those are going out. Gained a planet already. And then any planet that's already taken over that has a ship there, that should be a mutually destruction thing, so that would make sense for that. Okay. That one gained, that one seen. And that looks like it's working, so... Are there different classes of ships? Yeah, so there are attackers, you have destroyers, there are harvesters for mining asteroids, there are supply ships for sending supplies between planets. That's all I have right now. Actually, I only have 3 that are sendable. These are using the same icon, but I have an attacker, I've got a harvester, and then the supply ship is here. And then there is a spot for the destroyer, but I haven't actually made it yet. But I do have that class of ship defined. And then there's going to be another menu for armor and stuff for upgrades. But right now I just got this. Right now it's just the refinery. The refinery is what lets you mine a certain amount of resources per day. And then the starport lets you build the ships. Yeah. Thank you. And then the other thing I want to add in here is turrets. So that you can have some sort of defense on the planet other than just having ships there. Right now it's just the ships there. And spy ships. So right now if you send a ship out and make contact with another planet, technically it doesn't happen yet, but I want the other player to be alerted that something attacked them. But if it's a spy ship, then the spy ship can go and not be detected. Unless there's like a satellite in orbit or something that could detect them, you know. Little things I want to add on, but... Hey, I gained 3 planets. Cool. Alright, so those are working. A little bit of time left. I wonder if I could add this menu. And I might have a different tab, you know. But I want a little pop-out menu that shows all the planets you've visited and all the asteroids you visited. Not sure what that's going to look like. Hey, I had a sunrise. What kind of information do I want to display on that menu? The object, the owner of the object, and the resources for that object. I think those are fair. I don't know how I want that information to be displayed, though. Do I want it to be fully available in the list? Do I want just the planet to be in the list, and then you can select it and get like a full overview? I don't know how I want that to work. Because right now on this list here, you can get information about planets and stuff. This should be blank until you investigate that planet, though. So I can take care of that. I can make this be unknown for now. What do I have? We've got interact, got the message, planet list. Do I have a planet list child? Server child. Let's take a look at the planet list. Okay, and this needs to be wrapped with a horizontal box. And then on the side of the horizontal box, I need the button. That's going to go on the other side. How did I make that button? Oops, not you. I made a size box, and inside there, button, okay. Size box is 4060, centered and fill. Can I copy? And then the button will be, I guess, star chart. Can I flip the image? Style. Can I do a negative? I don't see an update here, but it might let me do this to flip it. So I'll compile that. Let's open up the HUD. And I want this to go here. So really I should rename this, to star chart. Let's save real quick. Because it's going to show more than just the planets. Oh, that's player HUD. Hey, that updated. Yay, and now I can start charts. Interesting. That updated, but the search for that did not update. Close both of those. And I will save. There it goes. Okay, so you need to be about here. How am I doing these? Did I manually do the anchors? Let me see. These are in the overlay. Message pop-ups in the overlay. This is in the overlay. No anchor visible. Border. Border has an anchor. Okay. So for the star chart, I'm just going to move it over. And I'll move it down. Can I do middle? It's probably not going to be nice enough. And that would overlap. Where is transform? Let's move this. Whoop, that's way too far. Like that. Although all of the star chart elements should be inside of a scroll box, so I might have to go back and change that. Yeah. So this will go here, and then I want this to collapse out of view. Horizontal box is this button, and then vertical box. That's going to be the vertical box. We'll make that a variable. Actually, I probably don't have to do that. I can probably just do it right off the button. Button. I'm doing on-clicked. Do an on-clicked event. Let me see if I did... for here, did I create a temporary bool for open? I did. Yep. Keeping in line with my train of thought. Naming convention, did I do B? No. Sticking to my naming convention. I want a branch. Star chart vertical box. Visibility. So I won't need these. Unless for some reason I need to be able to call that outside of the menu, but I don't think I need to. Pretty sure for send ship I just did the send ship button. Although that's on this is being operated by a different button. Let me check the other. I must have built those as part of this. I did. Yeah. It should work the same though. I'm just going to collapse this. So if it's open, we want to close it. And if it is closed, we want to open it. Don't be a dick. Okay. How come the border of that looks crisper than the border of the other? Thank you. This needs to be closed on start. So we'll go back to here. Let's get vertical box. Where are you at? Collapsed on start. And then that this variable should be false. False on start, so that should open it and then close it. Okay, and then boop. I was going to pre-populate this, but I think this being filled when you discover something is much more I guess, entertaining. So now I want to start populating this thing. So the child that's going to go into there how do I want these to work? Because I want you to be able to click on the planet to select it in the menu. That'll be handy. So it would need to be a button with an on-clicked event. But does the whole thing need to be a button? Because the whole selectable, the whole object that's in there could be a button. User interface, we'll make a widget. Yeah. I guess for now I'll just do a button. What size button should this be? And the button needs to have text on it. I guess I could put a size box around it. Let's put the... Come on, Unreal. Listen. Stop being a dick. We'll set it to desired. Okay, so what is your size? I don't know. I don't know what his default size is. Let's wrap this in... Well... I don't know what I want these to be just yet. But I do know that on here in the button, if I need multiple pieces of information, if I do that here, then I'm going to want a size box. Or not a size box, but a horizontal box. This will be I think this will be good to start with. This needs to get information from its parent. So this needs to have a reference to the star chart. Does the send ship menu, the menu would have the HUD, but I think this one does, yeah. It does have a player HUD. Yeah, I'm going to want to get from the HUD as well, because there's going to be information the HUD has. So, star chart, you need to have the HUD. I thought I could change the order of these. I guess I can't. Doesn't matter. This needs to get populated. But I also need it on here. Okay. That'll be available on the Create Widget side. For this one, how do I want to get that in? I guess I could feed it in from here. Anybody else? On the construction event. Yeah, okay. I need to populate all the children on here. How do I want to do that? Inside this vertical box, I've got these. This, though, needs to be inside of a scroll box. Right? Since this is going to be on the button, I can remove this. Sorry, just thinking. So I'll cut that. Let's put a scroll box in here. I might have to wrap that into a size box, but I don't know the size of the content for this. I think I will wrap that with a size box. Let me check the other. What did I do for the message box? Message box. Scroll box. And a border. Yeah. But when the message box gets messages, it fills up quite a bit. It expands to all the messages. It doesn't give me the scroll option. So I think I want to do a size box in here. Wrap with size box. Yes. Fill this way for the override height. Override height maybe 400. That might be too much. Okay. It doesn't get in the way of anything, so that'll probably work. Okay. But I don't want that to be all the time. So how can I make that expandable, but to a limit? Can I toggle height override for this size box? Yes, I can. That's in the child layout section. I set this one. What's the difference? When specified, ignored the contents, desired size, and report the heights as the box desired height. I don't know. This one might just do the same. I don't know. For this, I'm going to copy the scroll bar details from here. Scroll bar. It will be vertical, yes. And that's just expandable. I think I can just copy over it. There we go. So I think what I'll do is this. I'll have a text inside of this size box. I was thinking about just having these hideable because it'll collapse. Maybe have this set to Well, center would be there. So I don't want this size to content. I do want to set a max size. Can this have more than one child? Size box cannot have more than one child. One second, I'm getting a call. Hello? One of those, will you donate to this thing message. All right. Let me wrap with an overlay. And then in the overlay, let's do a text. And let's give this center, I think is fine. We'll give it a right padding of, I don't know, 20. Why is it being pushed out? Here we go. That's a bit snug. Alright, so I got 30 there. Let's do 30 on the other end. It's too much. Oh, 5. Okay. And then I'll just hide that whenever I find something and then populate the data. No objects found for that. Let's do... make that a variable. size box. This is going to be size box star chart. Size box for the scroll box. Alright, so for the scroll box, I need to create a widget. So let's get the scroll box, add child, create widget. The widget I'm going to create, I'll pass the owning player in. We are creating a star chart child. Refresh. This needs to be exposed on spawn. Reference to self. Alright, what we're going to get this from, we need the HUD itself. So player HUD. We've got to get the player, so get player. That will be owning player. Guess we can do an is valid check. Ooh. That requires the player controller. Okay, and then information that needs to go on the star chart, or on this thing anyway. What can I do? I can have it take in. We need to get the player's planet list. Get. So we want to get the known planet list. We also want to get the known asteroid list. Known asteroid list. I guess I should do an is valid check here. We're going to load the planets first, so for each. We will fire off the planets. Okay. So this needs to take in on the star chart child. This needs to know the player name, planet name, and so right now we're taking in the object name and that one. So these will both be variables. Can I set? No, that would not be available, right? If I expose, I can only do category. Alright, I'll just do it off string. Those are stored as F names, so I guess I can get the F name, the name of it. And then the other one is going to be the owner name. And we will expose these on spawn as well. And I should be able to bind the text so I don't have to do any inputs. Although, a lot of times I prefer not binding text because then I'm going to be chasing my tail. How is this being read? But the text, there is a bind option, create binding. And all the binding does is a function that does the thing that I would have done anyway. But this is object name. I'm going to get confused and forget that I did this. And then I'll be like, how am I passing this in? Okay, and then this one, create a binding owner name. Literally, if you don't do a binding, it's the exact same thing. What you would do is, let me go back to the event. You would take in your text here, get a set text, pass in the variable. Which one is this? Owner name. So I would pass in the variable. And then something has to call this operation. You could create a custom event or whatever. But then you have to call that custom event somewhere else. So if I did a custom event, let's say set owner set owner name. So I could do it this way. And then pass this in this way over here. I'll let that happen on that end. Right, so I could do it this way. On star chart, from the widget itself, set owner name. I could do the variable directly, or I could take this and then pass in. It's just an extra step. But by doing it, by doing it through the bind, it's slightly cheaper just because it happens directly from here. So if I refresh this, we've got these. And then from here, I can get, if it's a planet, I need the planet stats. And then the planet name goes here. And then for the owning player, planet stats owner, should just be to get the name from that. But I get to do this as a single step on the creation of the widget. It's just one of a dozen ways of doing things. And I want to do that for every single one of these. Okay. And then when this is complete, it's got to run the same thing. So when this is complete, we're going to do another for each. This one will be this. Alright, this one's coming out. We're going to do add child, and we're adding this child. And then on this end, I want to create that widget again. That is, from here we're going to get star chart child. Self owning player, player controller, and then from this object, this is going to be asteroid stats. Need to get the asteroid name. And asteroids don't have an owner, so I'll just do unowned. Okay, and then this is going to be doing this again. Alright, and then before this runs, we're going to clear any data on it. So, where is this thing? Scroll box. Oh, that's the size box for that. Scroll box. Clear children. And I'll do that actually after this. Alright, and then I need to call this from somewhere. Oh. When do I want to update the star chart? There are a couple of moments where I would want to. One would be whenever I open it, I want to be able to update it. But then also, I need to be able to update it whenever a new thing is acquired. So I'll have to do a broadcast, I think. I'll have to broadcast it. Whenever a ship overlaps another object, it would have to broadcast, and then I'd have to catch the broadcast and feed it through here. Trying to think of another way of doing it through Blueprint. I'll let that stew in my brain. Maybe it'll come to me. But updating star chart will happen when we open the star chart. So let's see if this works. Oh, and actually let me stop for a second. I'm going to do a save all. In the event that I forgot to save something, I just want to make sure that I get it. Because if this crashes, I don't want to have to write anything new. I have to do it over again. Oh, that's cool. These do not technically orbit each other, but they're right there. Look at that. It's a huge planet. That'd be messed up, you know, if your opponent owned this one and you owned that one. Okay. I can get those. We'll do a once around. Okay. And I'll make some ships. And I'll make some ships over here, too. Alright. And if I check star chart, new objects found. Oh, I didn't tell it to empty that, so that's going to be a thing. Hold on, let me just solve that real quick. Because I'm going to have to go do this again if I don't solve it now. Update star chart. I'll do after there. Get my scroll box. So we'll get whether or not it has children. If it has children, we will just hide the text. Alright, so if it does have children, we want it to be visible. If it does not have children, we want this to be gone. And I will collapse it so there's no overlaps or anything. Okay, we'll jump back in. Once again, I gotta build these. Okay. That shouldn't be empty. Whatever. Let's see if I can get the ships. Let's go and send a ship to... Oh, it let me send this ship without a destination. There we go. And I'll get an asteroid. Actually, let me get 2 planets and then an asteroid. Actually, I'll just do 2 planets. That way, I can check the 2. Is there only 1 player? No. Okay, let me go ahead and refresh the chart. That one's empty. Let me refresh this chart. That one's empty. Huh. Actually, that's a pretty good point. This technically should never be empty because you should always have your first planet in there. Your first planets should always be known. So why is that failing? That should not fail. There's going to be a million errors. Are there any that point to the star chart? Can I search log? I cannot search log. Player HUD, player HUD, player HUD. Any from the star chart? I'll jump back in here. And I will actually just undo this because no objects found should not ever be a thing. Since I don't need that, I'm gonna cut this, delete that, paste this back. Scroll box. Oh. I'm populating the wrong object. Scroll box. Add child. There we go. And of course I can click on it. Yay. I should make this easier to identify though. Just because it kind of runs together. Let's see what happens if I gain some stuff. And gain 2 planets. We will refresh. Maybe I should have the array sort by type or by name, just to make that cleaner. And then selecting this should select the planet. So that way it just speeds up your workflow. So if I want to send a ship to one of these guys, I just grab it out of my chart. Let's see what happens if I grab an asteroid. Grab that asteroid. Smack that asteroid. I am mentally 5. This would be nicer if it were parked to the side. Thanks, I'll be here all week. Tip your waitress. Alright, but that does look like it's working. Cool. Jump over to Meow. How do I want these to line up? Let's get the star child. Let's make that anchored to the side. And let's put a spacer right in between these guys. So that should be a bit cleaner on that. And then over here, for the scroll box, I think I'm going to wrap that with a vertical box. And then in the vertical box, I'll do the text. Actually, I'll do a horizontal box above that, and then inside there, we will do text. Okay. Let's do a spacer. What did I do? 20. Do that one as 20. And then make another text. Move that one over. There we go. And then this one is owner. I think I'll do a little bit of could do padding on the end, or I could just add a spacer. Let's do padding. Cat hair in the mouse. Is it like weird because it's not centered? I could do padding before and after, and then put a bit of padding over here. And then for the scroll box, if I do a 30 padding on the left, that should line up. Thoughts? Looks like it's a little off. Right now it fills to content, so I could put a specific size thing in there, so it can't get too big or too small. That would limit the name of the thing. Let's see if I get all the planets, what happens. So 2 players, I think we have a max of 30 planets. That's a crazy number. And I will build stuff on this guy. Alright. Not enough minerals. There we go. Let's acquire some things. I've got plenty of stuff. Crap. Keep hitting a cat hair. There's like a cat hair under the mouse. That's good enough. Now end my turn, and then on this player, we'll just grab some planets. Ooh, some asteroids. Oh, I chose myself. I didn't know. How could I have known? Planet 25 has 2 attackers. I guess I won't attack that one. But see, this is information I should not have right now. It's okay. We'll sort that out later. Calculating stuff. Might as well fly out and see. I can't see nothing. There's so much stuff. The turn will end once it's done calculating. I could speed this one, but I actually don't know what will happen if I end turn before all the ships are done. Like, I have a guess, but... hey, I gained a bunch of planets. Cool. There we go. At some point I might color code these based on you know, player color or whatever, give a random player color. That way you can see them. I need to be able to separate these off, though.